Welcome to i-TUTOR Economics NCERT series. We were studying chapter 8 and we had studied till the topic IMF. And today we are going to deal with a new topic, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, or World Bank. So it was established in 1945 following the Bretton Woods Conference, and it was created as a sister institution to IMF. To become a member of IBRD, a country must first be the member of IMF. And what is the purpose of IBRD or World Bank? Initially, it aimed to help countries transition from wartime to peacetime economies. Then it provides long-term financial assistance to member countries and also focuses on reconstruction, development and poverty reduction. What were the features of IBRD? It offers loans, credits and grants to countries for development projects. Then it helps build infrastructure such as road, power, water and education system. It also works to promote economic growth and reduce poverty. So the IMF is like a short-term financial doctor who helps countries in immediate trouble. The World Bank is like a long-term development engineer helping countries build their economies for the future. Okay. Now, World Bank groups. It provides long-term financial assistance and technical support to developing countries for reconstruction and development projects like infrastructure, health and education. Currently, there are 189 plus countries. Okay, so first World Bank group is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. It is a part of World Bank group and the purpose is to offer loans and financial assistance to middle income and credit-worthy low-income countries for development projects. Then International Development Association is also a part of World Bank and the purpose is to provide low interest or interest-free loans and grants to the poorest countries to support development and poverty reduction. What about International Finance Corporation or IFC? It promotes private sector investment in developing countries to create jobs and stimulate economic growth. Next one, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, and the purpose is to provide political risk insurance and credit enhancement to encourage foreign investment in developing countries. And the last one, International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes, and the purpose is to provide facilities for arbitration and conciliation of investment disputes between foreign investors and host countries. So think of World Bank group like a family: IBRD and IDA, then IFC, MIGA and ISICSID. Okay. Now, what are the objectives of IBRD? First, reconstruction and development. After the wars or natural disaster, countries need rebuilding of infrastructure like roads, schools and hospitals. So IBRD provides long-term loans to help countries recover and develop their economy. Second, it encouragement to capital investment. Development requires funds for projects like factories, power plants and irrigation. And IBRD encourages both public and private investment by providing money, guarantees and technical support. Third objective, encouragement to international trade. Trade is essential for growth and IBRD supports projects that boost exports and imports, improving a country's balance of payment and international trade capacity. And the fourth one, establishment of peacetime economy. After wars, economies are disrupted and IBRD helps transition from wartime to peacetime economy by funding essential infrastructure and development projects. And the last one, environmental protection. So modern development cannot ignore the environment. IBRD funds eco-friendly projects and encourages sustainable development to balance growth with environmental protection. Okay, so these were the objectives of IBRD. Now we are going to learn about the objectives of World Bank. The World Bank provides financial and technical help to member countries for rebuilding their economies. This is especially important for countries affected by wars, natural disasters or underdevelopment. So that is what we written here, that is economic reconstruction and development. Second, stimulate long-run capital investment. That is, it encourages long-term investments in infrastructure, industry, and other productive sectors. This helps countries restore their balance of payment equilibrium, meaning they can manage import and exports better. It also promotes balanced international trade among member nations. Then it provides guarantees for loans. The World Bank can guarantee loans taken by member countries for big projects like power plants, highways, or factories. This reduces the risk for investors and encourages more funding for development. And the fourth one, transform war ravaged economies. Countries recovering from wars face destroyed infrastructure and shattered economies. The World Bank helps them transition to peacetime economies by funding rebuilding and development projects. And the last function, supplement foreign private investment. The World Bank provides direct loans from its own funds for productive purposes. This encourages private investors to invest as the bank support reduces the risk and ensures projects are viable. Okay, so think reconstruct, invest, guarantee, peace, supplement, etc. are the objectives of World Bank. Okay. World Bank's lending procedure. World Bank provides loans to its member countries in three ways. What are they? Loan out of its own fund, loan out of borrowed capital, and loans through bank's guarantee. Loan out of its own fund. The bank uses its own capital to provide loans directly to member countries for development projects. Now, loans out of borrowed capital. The bank borrows funds from international market or investors and lend them to member countries at reasonable terms. And the last one, loans through bank's guarantee. The bank guarantees loan taken by countries or private investors, which reduces the risk for lenders and encourages investment. Okay, so the World Bank has shifted its lending strategy to emphasize projects that directly improve the lives of poor people, particularly in developing countries. And the key focus areas included are agriculture, that is, they provide loans for agriculture development to increase food production and farmers' income. Then, rural development, that is, supporting projects like education, infrastructure, and electrification. And so, think that loans plus rural development is equal to direct help to poor masses, to remember the modern focus of World Bank. Okay. Now, functions of IBRD or World Bank. The World Bank's main role is to provide long-term financial assistance for development projects, especially in underdeveloped countries. Okay, Article 1 of IBRD agreement outlines its key functions. What are they? Investment for productive purposes, balanced growth of international trade, provisions of loans and guarantees, promotion of foreign private investment, and technical services. So what is about investment for productive purposes? The bank invests in projects that help reconstruct and develop member countries. It encourages development of productive facilities and resources in less developed countries. For example, financing a steel plant, irrigation project, or power plant. Now, balanced growth of international trade. That means it promotes long-term balanced international trade and it helps maintain BOP equilibrium by encouraging international investment. For example, loans to improve export-oriented industries. Then, provision of loans and guarantees. That means it provides loans directly from its own funds or through borrowed capital. It gives loan guarantees to reduce risk for investors and promote large-scale projects. For example, guaranteeing a private company's loan for a major infrastructure project is an example. Fourth one, promotion of foreign private investment. That is, it encourages private foreign investors to invest in member countries. It supplements private investment with bank financing to ensure productive use of funds. For example, a private foreign company sets up a factory with partial funding or guarantee from the World Bank. And the last one, technical services. That is, it provides technical expertise and training to member countries. It uses staff experts and World Bank staff college to assist in planning, execution, and management of projects. For example, training local engineers or economists to manage development projects effectively. Now, what are the achievements of World Bank? Do you know what are the achievements of World Bank? The World Bank is considered successful in achieving its main objective. What are they? Reconstruction and development, especially for war-ravaged nations. Then it has also contributed to the development of both developed and developing countries. So first, expansion of membership. It was started with just 30 countries and it increased to 68 countries in 1960s, 151 countries in 1988, and now it has 189 member countries. This shows the growing global trust and reach of the World Bank. And second, provision of medium term and long term loans. That means grants loans payable over 15 to 20 years depending on the useful life of the project. It helps countries invest in large scale development projects without immediate financial burden. Then focus shift from Europe to developing countries. Initially, loans were mainly for reconstructing Europe after World War II. Later, focus shifted to financing schemes for the poor and marginalized in developing countries. For example, projects in rural infrastructure, education and agriculture. Then fourth one, loans for productive purposes. That is, funds are provided mainly for productive sectors like agriculture, irrigation, power, and transport. This helps strengthen infrastructure need for further economic growth. And soft loans via international development associations. So International Development Association or IDA is the soft loan window of the bank. It provides low interest or interest free loans to undeveloped countries. Despite these efforts, economic inequality persists, especially in many African countries. Now, India and World Bank or IBRD. India has had a long and close relationship with the World Bank since its inception. So let's look at it one by one. India's role in the World Bank. The name International Bank for Reconstruction and Development was first suggested by India to the drafting committee at Bretton Woods Conference. This shows India's active role in shaping the institution. What about financial assistance for development? The World Bank has provided large-scale financial support to India, particularly in infrastructure projects, electric power, transport, communication, irrigation and steel industries. So economic development programs are financial projects to accelerate industrialization and modernization. What about IFC or International Finance Corporation support here? The IFC as a part of World Bank has helped India in 5 priority areas. That is capital market development, improving stock and bond market. Then direct foreign investment, that is attracting FDI to India. Access to foreign markets, helping Indian businesses trade globally. Equity investment in new and expanding companies, that is supporting entrepreneurship. Then infrastructure development, that is enhancing basic facilities for growth. Okay, so that's all about IFC or International Finance Corporation. And poverty alleviation and economic development, what about that? The World Bank has supported India in programs for poverty reduction, rural development and improving overall economic growth. Until China joined the World Bank in 1980s, India was the largest beneficiary of World Bank assistance. Okay. Now, India and IBRD, a sustainable relationship. India has a long-standing and multifaceted relationship with World Bank Group. Okay, so first, membership in World Bank Group constituents. India is a member of 4 out of 5 major constituents of World Bank Group. Constituents year established India's status. Okay, first IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development 1944 is the founding member. Then IDA, that is International Development Association. Then IFC, International Finance Corporation. We have already told about that. Then Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, 1988. It was joined in 1944. Then International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. India is not a member. Okay. So that's about those members. The second, India's early World Bank assistance to India. In 1948, World Bank's assistance to India started with funding for agriculture machinery project. And in 1978, IFC invested US $1.3 million in India to promote private investment and industrial growth. And what is India's role in governance here? India has an executive director on the board of IBRD, IFC, IDA and MICA. This gives India a voice in decision making, project approval and policy guidance within the World Bank group. Okay. And what about the significance of membership? Access to long-term loans, concessional finance and investment guarantees. It boosts infrastructure development, poverty alleviation and foreign investment. It also strengthens India's role in shaping global economic policies. Okay. So that's all about India and IBRD, a sustainable relationship. Now, World Trade Organization. So the WTO was established in 1995, replacing GATT. What is the full form of GATT? General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. So unlike GATT, which was temporary, WTO is a permanent international organization. Its role is to act as a watchdog in the areas like trade in goods and services, foreign investment and intellectual property rights. So think of WTO as the global referee for the trade rules. And Dangle Draft. So the Dangle Draft, formulated by Arthur Dangle, the Secretary General of GATT, became the foundation for WTO agreements. This draft helped formalize rules for international trade under the WTO framework. And what about the ministerial conferences? Every 2 years, WTO organizes a ministerial conference where commerce ministers from member countries meet to discuss and resolve trade issues. And the key conferences are: first, WTO Ministerial Conference, Singapore. Okay, Singapore in 1996. And the recent conference is in Argentina in 2017. Okay. And they planned conference in Kazakhstan in 2020. And what are the key functions of WTO? It promotes free trade by reducing tariffs and other barriers. Then monitor trade policies of member countries. Then settle trade disputes through a structured mechanism, and also supports developing countries in trade related capacity building. Hope it is clear. Now let's look at the objectives of WTO. The WTO was created to expand international trade and promote economic prosperity by liberalizing trade restrictions. So first, reduction of tariff and other barriers. That is, WTO encourages countries to lower custom duties, that is tariffs, and remove other trade barriers. This helps make goods and services cheaper and more accessible. Then, to eliminate discrimination in trade, WTO ensures fair treatment of all member countries. No country can favor one trading partner unfairly over another. Then, to facilitate higher standard of living, by promoting trade, countries can access a wider range of goods and services, improving quality of life. Fourth one, optimal use of world's resources. It encourages countries to specialize in goods they produce efficiently, leading to better global resource utilization. And fifth one, fair share for least developed countries. That is, it helps LDCs participate in international trade and benefit from global economic growth. And the last one, link trade policies with environment and sustainable development. That is, it ensures that trade growth is environment friendly and contributes to long-term sustainable development. Okay. Now WTO agreements. WTO agreements. First one, TRIPS. TRIPS means trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. What is meant by TRIPS? TRIPS is an agreement under the WTO that deals with intellectual property rights. So intellectual property rights includes copyrights, that is to protect literacy and artistic work. Then trademarks, that is to protect brand names and logos. And also patents, that is to protect inventions. Geographical indications, that means to protect products from a specific region. And also industrial design, trade secrets and layout designs. So intellectual property rights include copyrights, trademark, patents, geographical indication, and also industrial designs, trade secrets, and layout designs. And what are the key provisions? TRIPS require granting products patents instead of only process patents, meaning companies have exclusive rights over the products itself. And what are the duration of protection? For patents, it is 20 years, copyrights 50 years, trademark 7 years, and layout designs 10 years. Okay. And what is the impact on LTCs here? LDCs now depend more on advanced countries for seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and drugs. Farmers and domestic industries may rely heavily on foreign firms for technology and inputs. For example, Indian farmers buying GM seeds from multinational companies instead of using local seeds is a direct result of TRIPS enforcement. Now, WTO agreement TRIMS. What is called TRIMS? Do you know what is meant by TRIMS? Trade related investment measures. So TRIMS deals with conditions or restrictions imposed on foreign investment in a country. The aim is to treat foreign companies equally with domestic companies and remove discriminatory investment practices. It focuses on making trade and investment free from local restrictions that may hinder international trade. And developing countries often have rules for foreign investors to protect local industries. TRIMS ask countries to remove restrictions like restrictions what TRIMS say. Okay. Now, what are the objectives of TRIMS? To promote foreign investment without discriminatory rules and to ensure a level playing field between domestic and foreign firms. Okay. Next one, General Agreement on Trade in Services, that is GATS. So first multilateral agreement covering trade in services such as banking, insurance, transportation, communication and tourism is called GATT. And the key provisions are to ensure most favored nation treatment, that is equal treatment for all WTO members. Then promotes transparency by requiring countries to publish laws and regulations affecting trade in services, and also it aims to liberalize service sectors and create fair competition globally. Okay, that's about GATS. Then phasing out of multi-fiber agreement, MFA. This MFA regulated world trade in textiles and garments. Okay, textiles and garments through export quotas imposed on developing nations by developed countries. And the WTO decided to phase out MFA quotas over 10 years. And what is the impact on India? It is highly beneficial, opened up textile export markets, and it boosted India's employment and export earnings in the textile sector. Now, what about agreement on agriculture? For the first time, agriculture was brought under international trade rules, and the main components here are tarification, that is conversion of non-tariff barriers into tariff, then tariff cut or tariff reduction, that is gradual reduction in tariffs on agriculture goods, and also subsidy reduction, that is it discourages trade distorting domestic and export subsidies. And the goal is to make global agricultural trade fair and market oriented. And the last one, dispute settlement body, and the purpose is to solve trade disputes between member countries under WTO rules. And what are the features here? Aims to eliminate procedural delays in resolving disputes. Then mandatory timeline, that is all disputes must be settled within 18 months. And also it works under a multilateral trading system ensuring fair procedures. So despite the system's efficiency, India has sometimes lost export opportunities due to adverse rulings. Okay, so that's all about today. Hope you understand. Thanks for watching. For more related contents, do like, share and subscribe.